Yeah, I'm streaming. Here we are. I wasn't going to stream, but now we're streaming because I'm streaming. Yeah. So last time we touched on game design. I showed stuff and things in the game, I think. This thing here. Oh, spoilers. I had some things that weren't working that I immediately got working right after the stream. Because that is now the official way things happen. Anyways, I made some progress. What kind of progress? Well, I don't know what behavior they have hooked up, but we've been doing states. Ah, he saw me and he's shooting. Now what is he doing? He's going around. He's trying to find another thing. No, you can't shoot me. So I got rudimentary. Hey, let's shoot at the player. But then when we get near, we're moving from point to point with the EQS system. Look at that. They're like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. And then they dance with each other. Basic stuff. It's not real gameplay yet. That's okay. Because they're doing stuff. One guy's still on his route, everything else. What does that look like? But yeah. Oh, the brain of an NPC. That's what this mainly is. Behavior trees. So I'm getting into this a little bit. There's a bunch I'd like to tweak. I might do it on stream. I might tweak a bunch of these values as I'm learning more about how to use the blackboard and their various cooldowns and decorators and stuff. Here's how it goes. I am an NPC. I will select what to do. I'm going to start on the left. Here's a condition. What is it? Am I attacking? If I am, I'll do this. If I'm not, am I investigating? If I am, I'll do this. If I'm not, am I passive? And we set all this in the, I'll get to it. If I am, do I have a patrol route? If I do, I'll go along it. If I don't, I'm going to wander around with the smart objects in the area. But if they are in combat, they'll come over here and it locks this. If it fails, I got to do this for 5 seconds. I got to try to do this. They're going to sprint. They're not going to have anything focused. They're not going to, that's just turning to look at something. They're going to move to an ideal range, just defined by these blackboard keys, the attack radius and the attack target. There's also a defend radius and stuff. They're going to focus on that attack target, and then they're going to attack that attack target. And wait a second. But wait. They're going to go over here after doing that because of the cooldown. And they're going to come over to the strafe section, and they're going to say, hey, we made a thing, this decorator. And it's going to say, hey, the attack target, how far away is it? How far away is it from me? And then we define an ideal range. We say, is that, there's a margin of error, which, okay, whatever. Like, okay, is this distance between me and the thing that I'm going to try to attack? Is it within my ideal range? If it is, it's inversed. All right, I'm about to say, wait, this isn't set up right. So it says if it's not, then you're going to move there. You're going to clear focus, sprint, and then get into that ideal range. And you're going to say, oh, okay. Now the inverse thing, woof, come over to the sequence, focus on that attack target, jog around him by strafing with the environment query system, EQS, around a point. You go to this point of interest that you're going to move to, and then you're going to wait. But we have another thing too. Let me hook this up because this is kind of funny. I'm going to just break them links and grab just you, bypass all of that. Here's what we're going to say. I'll show it to you first. Save that. They're going to be real scared of me. They're going to be like, jump scare. They're going to be like, ah, jump scare. Ah. They're going to hide. Oh, no. I got to play with it so they're actually hiding a little bit better. And then you can be like, no, shoot them. Shoot at them and hide again. Two, run away, run away. Oh, guys, still just go around to points. Hey, be scared. But if I come around to this side, they're going to be like, oh, no. Ah, I love it. So this is the query thing for that. It's basically saying, hey, can you see the player? See the things over there? If they can't, those are valid. And then whatever I have the update time set as, they'll go over there and be like, why is he caught on that? Collision. Oh, one guy just shot another guy. Oh, that's right. With this hooked up, they're not going to shoot at each other, I don't think. Maybe they will. I might have to have the other branch hooked up for that. But yeah. When would I want them to do this? Why, whenever there's different types of enemies to do that stuff with. Go back to your basic behavior. Boop, boop, boop. I'm kind of getting the hang of this. It's not entirely like a blueprint. Blueprints, they run technically from left to right, but it's, just sorry for the yawning. Left to right, and they follow that path, the flow. You carve a little river with all the little connections here. They're just gonna go this way. Blackboards are kind of like that, but they're kind of different because of a lot of what you can do in the blackboard. Like there's some stuff like built-in decorators where you right-click and they're like conditional. Only do this if or not if, and then you have to build them by yourself. If not, a lot of these tasks they do, you also have to build by hand. Oh, here's what was I just looking at? Move to ideal range, right? All it does is say, hey, move to the thing. Here's the thing, the attack target. Here's the acceptable radius. It's the ideal range. Finish execute. Don't forget that, or else nothing will work ever. But it's been really fun doing this. Like, really, I just love the feeling of being like, hey, I'm gonna make you guys behave a certain way, and then they do. I like it better than hand scripting. So I've done a lot of hand scripting. What is hand scripting? Hand scripting of these patrol paths. Being like, you do this, and then you go over here and do this, and then you go over here and do this. And then what I'm used to is someone else being like, I want to get them attacking each other. Oh, I think he won't attack the other guy because he saw me. I need to find a way of prioritizing attacking something that damaged you over something that saw you. But anyways, that's cool. That's really cool. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Hello, Miro. How you doing? I'm building debt. Most of it's MP related multiplayer. Can't shoot each other in projectile base. I fixed that. That's fixed. Fixed. Oh, it feels so good to move something into the list called fixed. They can shoot each other now. I went through a whole thing. Oh my goodness. Of searching for what I broke. First I broke enemies being able to hurt each other. Then I broke them shooting at all. Then I broke them shooting in relationship to how they shoot using actual Blackboard behavior tree stuff. It was a journey. But at the end of that, this kind of got fixed. Oh. And that's good. And enemy-based targeting, getting player pawn doesn't work in MP. This is everywhere. Because I go through these tutorials and they're like, just do this. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be a problem. So I leave myself a note. I make it red. And I make a note over here. Dead. I really want to fix it. I do. Even though it's not going to be a multiplayer game, maybe it is. Maybe if multiplayer is just in and works, I can find a way of just doing that if this ever actually materializes as a real project. Because it would be fun. It's to, design fun levels, go around fun, fight fun enemies that have fun behaviors with fun weapons and fun abilities. Fun. Throw some people in it. That's fun too. Probably want a more reactive world if you've got co-op going on. So that, no, Bob, don't shoot the pipes on the wall. Shh, no, the area is filled with steam that will hurt us. Got to get out of there, Bob. Fun. Not the best example of fun, but fun. Multiplayer. Multiplayer. Rifles just utterly hosed. Maybe I should remake it utterly. I don't even know. Multiplayer. Something animation. That's going to be. I don't know. That's a whole discipline. I've been making games for a long time. If I knew anything about animation at any point, I've forgotten it. Even the stuff that I've already done on this project, and it hasn't been long. You got to if you're learning something new, you got to keep doing it over and over again. That's why I'm glad. I'm not actually done with the gameplay ability system tutorial I was using. I had to get back to it. But it was a long tutorial, so more of that stuff stuck because I kept doing it every time, every day. And now it's this Blackboard stuff. It's sticking because I'm using it. If I stop looking at this for a month and I come back to it, I'm going to be like, oh. Animation, though, in one ear, out the other. Follow tutorial. As soon as the tutorial's done, I'm like, I don't know anything about animation. What did you just spend an hour doing? I don't know. Is that animation? I'll get it eventually. Again, multiplayer. Multiplayer, 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 multiplayer. Don't know what's going on with the rifle at all because it all works when you have the pistol. Multiplayer. Animation. Oh, in progress? Blocker. Animation. Yeah. In progress. Attacks and NPC states. Well, you just saw 'em. Look at that. All these things that are done to various levels of goodness or a bit like this. I made the rifle. Rifle borked. They don't cancel each other out yet, though. I need to. Maybe I'll spend some time this weekend. Just try to knock some of these out. Again, moving forward in a game with too many bugs or too much debt just kind of ramps up how much debt and bugs you're going to have with every step after that. It's Bob Marley's chains. It's seaweed on a zombie crawling out of the ocean. Holds you back. Bad analogies because they didn't get more change or more seaweeds. But you see what I'm saying. Got to take care of this stuff, or else it gets worse over time. It doesn't get better. And when you're the only person working on a project, every bug is up to me to fix. It can't be like, oh, person who knows this thing already. Bug can fix, and they're like 5 minutes. Fixed. No, me, it's like, oh god, how do I? Where add an internalization node between locomotion and how? What? Where? Who? This animation's a very different interface. Look at this. Look at get out of here, Bureau. Let's dip, dip, put it, dip, deep, deep. do and ABP, animation blueprint. What is all of this? Translation node between what? Wait, let me look over here. Locomotion and fall loop. Locomotion and fall loop. Locomotion over here. Fall loop over here. Goes this way. Falling, fall loop. Then somehow land. But to land from, wait, from those to, is this? No. I don't know. If I start futzing with it, it's all going to get worse. Gotta do the seriousness. Hey, dude. How you doing, little guy? He's pretty cool. So I made him badly through all of the different angles he needs to have. And then I've run into a problem because whenever, all right, wait, what? Go away. Watch this. I tried, and I don't know why it didn't work, but I'm gonna have to look into it. Making those guys flash red when they get hit, like flash red. But notice those little blue indicators. They're still blue. Why are they still blue? Because the damage is just another thing. It's just another flip book. It works really well whenever your enemies are just the rounds, because then I just fill in the color. But when this is the guy, I can't just fill him in red because there's 8 different directions. And I could do it, but why? Why? Work smarter, not harder. So if this guy gets hit, if he gets hit, I can't just do that. I'm going to need to make him red. So I have an idea. It just came to me because I had not thought about doing this today. But we're going to try. Where's my enemy base? Boop. Right now it's just this guy. I haven't exported anything with the invader because I want to do the animations. But this is Guy. This is my base enemy right now. He's just got arrows all over the place. We're not going to worry about those right now. He doesn't have a material because he's a flip book. There's a mesh that is empty. A flip book is not a mesh. Also, a billboard is not a flip book either. Sadly. If I could just put a flip book in, there's a billboard, then I wouldn't have to do the logic right here at the, where's it at? Handle facing. This old stuff. Ignore that. This was using degrees instead of a system that used math. Let's go through this real quick. Get the player location and my location and subtract them and normalize. Get the my forward vector and normalize that. Dot returns dot product through 3D vectors. Cross returns a cross product. I can't tell you what those are off the top of my head. Inverse cosine returns degrees value based on input radians. This turns the float into a number. Multiply, divide by 45 for the degree. Round to an integer, the 64-bit integer or whatever. Do a bunch of math to come back with a number. What's that number? Oh, if it's 0, then we turn on the front-facing flipbook. And we set that to the current one because we use the current value in other things like switching it out for getting damaged. Front. These are all not visible right now. Do that for all 8 directions. Again, it's 0 to 7 because computers. Yep. You know, if it was a billboard, I would still have to do that. What was the math that I was thinking of? There's another one. Always this. Guess this ain't bad. Well, I just went down the wrong road of complaining. This is the correct road of complaining. Just get the rotator, the scene component. Get its location, get the player's rotation. Location, find the lookout rotation, and then set the rotator to that. That way, whenever I play a game, no matter what their flipbook is, they're always facing me. And that works in multiplayer because it's client-based. No need for the server to care about any of that. No. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh. I could die. It just sucks right now. I don't do much with it. I'm just like, oh no, I'm going to die. I can't move. I can still do everything else though. But look where this comes from. Because I'm, in reality, laying down on the ground here, even though that's still my first person mesh. And then my gun is just way the heck over here for no reason. I'm just going to have to take a few weeks for animation. Anyways. Beep up. What was I doing? Yes, I wanted to try to apply a material to the enemy base whenever it gets hit. I think I tried this before and it didn't work. But maybe I need to make the material emissive, but then if it's in a dark room and they get hit, I don't want a damage state for an enemy to light up bright. But if I don't make it emissive, it just looks like a weak paint sauce. It's going to have a material. Yes. Material overrides. Damage. Damage effect. I get hit. My health has gone down. I turn on damage. And I shut off current, the damaged flipbook, for 0.2 seconds. And then I turn the current back on. And I turn the visibility of the other one back off. Just can't always do that. Interesting. I'm looking to see if any of these are useful. They're not. So, we're going to keep all that. But Physical material. No, that's not what I want. Looking for the other thing I just found. What was that under? Rendering, advanced materials. Translucent material to blend on top of this mesh. That's probably why it didn't work before. Allows you to override a physical material. It's on spawning. Okay. Overlay material, max draw distance. I don't want an overlay material, so I want one of these. The heck's the rendering? It's not in alphabetical order. Rendering. Pixel stuff. Display bones. Material overrides. I can't override the material. You can tell by the expression on my face that I am nonplussed. All right. A light. A little emissive light that is red. Bear with me. How do I make a little... Because you don't... If I have 50 enemies on the screen, which is not a goal, but... And I hit a bunch of them, I don't want 50 freaking lights turning onto the scene. Because that'd just tank the game. And I guess emissive light isn't its own thing? Alright, so what I could do is put like... Man, this is jank land, based on limited knowledge. For every bit, I am not an animator. I am also not a lighting artist. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add. Yeah, everything's under there. We're gonna add. Cube. And we're gonna make the cube skinny. Yeah. And then we're gonna make it as big as my dude, kinda. We're gonna shove it right in this eyeball's face. That's close enough. And we're gonna make this emissive. That says black, but hold on. You're gonna have to hold on for my brain to catch up with what I was literally just about to do. I'm gonna duplicate this. Call it emissive damage, and then we're gonna move it. I don't want it to be. Never mind. It could be here. I don't care. RGB. Just make it red. Very red. Darker red. There we go. Emissive damage. You are going to not. Ah, crap. B. I want the lighting from the mesh to appear without the mesh appearing. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it at all. So emissive lights are kind of crappy, but you can have more of them in a scene without frying computers. Oh, my computer's going. Oh no. All right, experimentation time. Hey, enemy base. Hey, damage effect. Can I just change that? Damage effect. Damage cube. Come here. You're no longer hidden in game. For 0.2 seconds. Normal 3D enemy, get hit. Change material to this red thing. Change it back. Flipbook? Well, I'll have to get back to you on that. How bad does this look? Oh, wait. 2 seconds and then do it again. Ha 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 ha. Hidden. Well, pardon, hidden in game. Did I just not set it to hidden in game to begin with? I probably didn't, did I? Hidden. Yeah, you're hidden in game. Ah, I hate that. It has to be a child of the rotator. This is so dumb. Boy, doesn't that look great. You hit him. Good job. So, that sucks. Not gonna lie. Sucks pretty hard. That is one of those things where it's like, oh, I did the thing. Taz said do this, I did it. And then you do it and it's bad. And like, I did it. That's why so many scrum butts have a thing where leads look at people's work. They're not allowed to say done. They have to say in review. And then a lead says if it's done. Because if someone's working to rule, just working to the letter of a task, which is a form of protest, just doing exactly what they ask and nothing more, they can't fire you. You did what you asked, but you didn't do good because you didn't use brain to make it better. It's a protest. Anyways, that's bad in Scrum. You want to trust your people who have the task to know when they're done. Otherwise, leads become a huge bottleneck in review. And your people never learn what good means. They never learn what actually done is for a task if you send it to somebody else. Man, whenever I get around to making shorts, throw them on YouTube, am I going to be able to avoid shorts that are just about Scrum? Are all my shorts Scrum? Time will tell. All right, that sucks. But what this does is give me the ability to have something here that appears whenever. It doesn't have to be this. It can just be another mesh, right? Can I swap out what kind of mesh you are? Yeah, it's just a static mesh. It's just called cube when you pull it down because it's so common. Ugh. If I'm not, if I, hey, if, wait, here, wait, no, hit effects, little explosion-y boys whenever projectiles hit stuff. When this guy gets hit, where are you getting hit? I don't care where you get hit, do I? I never track where you've been hit by a projectile. I'm gonna have to get it from the projectile. God, why did I do it like this? Or hit location, define on the projectile. Then I can make a hit effect per weapon for when there's a valid hit and when there's an invalid hit. Hit guy, valid. Hit wall, invalid. Hit guy, valid. Do pixel art of impact real quick and get rid of it. Then do a different one if you've hit a wall. That pleases me. I mean, I have a base weapon somewhere, right? Octopi. Hit scan. Looping. Timer by event. Hit scan timer. Why am I hit scanning again? Because I'm doing a multi-sphere trace for objects. Kind of objects, pawns, inside the trace. Hit. Why does this look unfamiliar to me? Okay, this is kind of generic, so if I want a healing gun or something, I can do that. Thinking. 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 Saying thinking does not help me think. Here it is. That's the data I need. I have an event dispatcher. No, wait. I don't like dispatchers. And I'll tell you why. On actor hit. That means whenever this actor hits something, do this. I just want to send the signal. This is another thing I have to look up. You could do it through an interface, I suppose. I just need to know where the impact was. and spawn a thing at the impact site. Am I not? Wait a minute. I think I already do that. Where? Is it in the ability? Something. Is it in the... Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. E, e, no. Shoot. Shoot pistol. No, wait, no. Enemy weak shot. All right. Enemy shoot. All right, that is literally just spawning the projectile. I'm like, do I already do that in the ability? Why don't I make this blue? Make it red. Oh god, I was just in projectile base fixing that other stuff. Look at this. And squigglies everywhere. It all vanish. Impulse. A sphere, collector front sweep. On component begin overlap. I need the exact point it gets overlapped. Report damage event from the event location. That's just the actor location. Impact effects. Again, it's just on the actor. Because if I could spawn and get rid of another flip book, I am way off track, aren't I? Like, I came in here to show off some stuff. I guess I'm blathering. But then there's this little rabbit hole, and I just shoved my head right into it. I had stuff to do today. I was streaming to make sure I kept streaming for my schedule. Hey, EQS guys. EQS was neat. It's just a set of rules that you set up that can get pretty complicated about what your enemies are looking for. I'm not doing that. I'm going to keep that there for now. And that is a problem I'm going to look into more. Also, their missive. I don't think that was that the problem. That the flipbooks literally don't have light. They don't. They're incompatible with light. No. No. Get out of here. You'll sit there for now. But I want to see my guys. Ugh. Why didn't it do anything? Because it's not set to visible. Because I gotta do both. I gotta do both. Do you feel it? Did you feel my brain split in two? Because I just started doing two things at once. You're visible now. You're invisible now. Oh, you can't see that. I'm not in the thing. I gotta go over here. All right, it's awful and I hate it. Wait, was he taking damage from that? Yeah, okay. That's just a very quiet, you've been shot sound. Why were you sitting there? The heck are you doing? Are they colliding with it? None. Yeah, now you guys can move again. Great, because you're not colliding. All right, whatever. That was a dumb bad thing, but it's going to set up something cool in the future. As soon as I just figure out how to get that location in a good way using either dispatchers or interfaces or whatever else can pass a value from two act. I mean, I got such problems passing values between actors. It's probably super easy once you get used to it, but again, it's one of those things that since I don't do it all the time, every time I do it, it feels fresh. Which is to say, I don't know what the heck I'm doing every time I do it. I should just try to set in stone, do it 1,000 times in a row. Because brain. I'm gonna update paint. There has been some progress, and I have shown that progress off. And now I get to blather. Well, I'll revisit everything over time, I'm sure, that I've ever talked about here. But for now, I want to talk more about design in a very quick way. Clarity. Writing a design, got to make sure people understand what the heck it is you're writing. You got to be clear. And if your main form of communication with this stuff isn't conversations, if it's documentation, you got to make sure that you have summaries and all the stuff you need to make sure people get it. Declarative statements, strong language, not strong language like that, but not wishy-washy language. And then maybe we can do. No, we should. No, we will. When a player hits an enemy, we should tell people how to. No, when a player hits an enemy, we indicate damage to that enemy from displaying a damage effect at the location the enemy was hit. Don't couch that stuff. That doesn't help anyone. Don't say we should indicate it. Ideally, the indication. No, just say what it is. And if someone has a problem with it, they'll tell you. If the feature is going to be held up by the opinions of somebody, if they're that important that they can hold up a feature doing that, and they read the feature that you've designed, and there's a declarative statement they don't like, they will make a comment. They will let you know because their job is to do that. Don't couch it. No one has time for that. Maybe we could do that. No, please. We could do this thing or this thing or this thing. We don't know what we're going to do yet. No. No, we're going to do this thing. Oh, why are you going to do that? Because it's the thing that gets us where we need to be. It seems efficient. Oh, it's not efficient for these ways. Oh, thank goodness we're having a discussion. What's even worse is if you write a document that has wishy-washy language in it, and then it gets accepted, and then it's time for implementation. Now you're going to have a conversation with whoever's implementing that, an engineer, another designer, or yourself. And you're going to go, what is this actually? How are we actually doing this? So the design's been approved, but inside it was not a design. Ugh. Ugh. I speak from personal experience, it's really easy to feel like you're going to walk on people's toes when you make declarative statements or provide clarity. And other people shouldn't take it as in so and so has come in and tried to dominate the conversation or dictate what something is going to be to everybody. That's not our process here. No. Declarative statement, yes, no, no, conversation. Conversation lead to new declarative statement. Yes, no, no, conversation. It's better than, oh, I'm wishy-washy because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And people, for some reason, say yes, nothing, no movement, no direction has come from your document. Nothing actionable. It's making games is making games. This stuff, getting in and making it. Design, planning, yes. Do that, especially if you need to do it or need to communicate ideas or need to have a record of your ideas for the future. Do it. But whenever you implement, you're implementing. In whatever way your tools dictate you must implement, unless you have a great team of engineers there who are willing to rip those apart and make your own tools or whatever. But you're in here with the tools getting your hands dirty. Clarity means you could just do that. You could try it out. Oh, how are we going to do it? It's a problem to solve. I'm going to solve off stream like every problem. If enemy get hit right here, hit effect right here. If enemy get hit right here, hit effect right here. That's what we're going to try to solve. I don't do that stuff on stream because it's research. I don't have to research on stream. It's no fun. Be sitting here, maybe have a web page open going, Now, I don't have any practice at it, but if I was good with interacting with an audience, then sure, do that. But right now I don't. So I won't. These streams might be painful enough without that. So I did some good stuff. I'm behind today because I had like a get together with people earlier. And I came back and worked on stuff based off that get together. And then I wanted to be like, oh, I got to do this. So I got tutorial stuff to do. I haven't even worked out yet. I work out every day. Got to keep a few steps ahead of death. Work out. That's what you got to do. And I haven't. Will I? It's okay if I miss a day occasionally, as long as it's not more than once a week. How do I work out? I can blather about working out real quick. I don't enjoy it. It's often painful. Even walking on a treadmill can be painful. Gasping for air is painful. But 3 times a week I do cardio on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the same days that I do these streams. On one day I will do it on a bike. On another day I do it on a treadmill, and on a third day I do it on a rowing machine. Tuesdays and Thursdays I do resistance training. I can't call it weightlifting because it's one of the Bowflexes. It's one of the cheap ones you have to build yourself, and I don't know they make anymore. You better hope you do that right. You don't want this thing to come down on your head. It's a bunch of metal. Way cheaper than like a different Bowflex. It's still branded as Bowflex. I think now it's been years. I think my bows are wearing out. I don't think there's much resistance as there used to be, and I keep looking for the right ones to buy. But gave up on that for now because it's enough of a workout. Yeah, half-hour a day, 5 times a week. During the summer, I mow grass once on the weekend. That counts as some walking. An hour of walking. I'm just not walking to work out specifically. Working out is for your heart and your brain. If you work out a lot, I guarantee you will not lose an inch of weight. That fat, I don't care. That's diet. if you're young, I mean really young, you're like a teenager in your 20s and you don't work out, start, get in the habit. If I was working out as much as I do now when I was in my 20s, I'd look like a Greek god right now. Instead, there's no change. I know working out for a lot of people sucks. Some people are really obsessed with it. It's their favorite thing ever. More power to you. That ain't me. But if you're young, get in the habit. Just make it a habit. Be active. Please. Please. I can't tell people not to grow old, but I can tell people to try to be healthier. Well, I'm really hitting this blathering pretty hard. Session prep for tabletop role playing games. I have put my human hands together in the steeple configuration to begin talking about this, my hobby. They call it session prep when the person running the game master, the dungeon master, the referee, whatever you want to call them for whatever game, the head of light entertainment. It helps when you have some idea of what you want to do when you get all your friends together to play the game. Some people are good at winging it. I could do that on occasion. I used to do it a lot. I'll get back to that. If you're just doing adventure game stuff, where it's a motley crew of people going out into a fantasy, science fiction, post-apocalyptic, modern, whatever world to do adventure stuff, Sly Flourishes: The Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master is the book for you. Makes prep pretty fun, pretty short. Or a 3-4 hour long session. Yeah, it's good. It's what I've been using. However, I need something more dramatic than this. However, however, there's been a disconnect in my brain in the past few years with running tabletop games now versus even 10 years ago. It used to be the best thing ever. Almost. There's few things better. I can name them, but I'm not gonna. But you get a group of people together on one of these, and things click, and everyone's having fun. And you're rolling dice, and crazy stuff happens, and you build memorable stories with your friends and grow bonds. Good stuff. But for a variety of reasons, confidence shattering reasons, boredom related, isolation related, work amount related, I lost the ability to want to do things on the fly. Not the ability to do things on the fly, but the ability to want to do that. Weird, right? So I would have to prep. And part of it was actually for something I really like. Part of it was I would run games online in Foundry, which I love Foundry. It's a virtual tabletop. Only one person has to pay for it. Just get used to port forwarding if you're trying to run it on your home computer and your friends connect to it. But it could be run on, like cloud services or whatever too. Anyway, for that, presentation mattered to me at the beginning. Automation mattered to me. And in order to make things run smoothly, I'd prepare stuff and then run fakely the players through it without the players being there, just run their characters through it. And then I'd modify stuff and make notes for myself. And you can make notes right on it. Here's what we're going to do. I know this has blown up in my face so many times in the past. Hold on, it takes a while to load. I'm going to load up Foundry. I'm going to explain. I want to explain what this is. So if you haven't played a tabletop role-playing game before, here's what it is. You have a bunch of friends, 5, 6 friends, whatever. You sit around a table. One of your friends has a world that events happen in. And each of your other friends, including you, have a character. That character is a character in that world, and you get to say what they do. And then in the brain of whoever's running the game, referee, dungeon master, game master, whatever, they take your actions and it changes the world and they tell you what happens. It could be, I try to jump over the pit. All right, makes an athletics check if you're not in 2024 because they changed the D&D 2024 rules. Make an athletics check. What did you roll? A 3. What's your strength? What's your skill total? 7. Okay. You don't make the jump. You scrabble to grab the lip of the ledge as you jump to it, but you fail and you fall off. And let me look up the D6 per 10 feet or whatever. Oh, you take 18 points of damage from this fall and knock the wind out of yourself. Or it could be as like, oh, I've told my tale of woe to the king as a warning for his actions. Do I convince him not to go through with his invasion plans? Oh, let's see. Make your roll. Oh, roll. Oh, it's a good roll. I check his disposition. Yes, you've convinced the king not to invade. Your name will go down as a diplomat, the best diplomat in the history of recorded time. That kind of stuff. You know? You can't just say it, though. That's no fun. I mean, some games do it. There's diceless games out there, but almost every tabletop role-playing game has a resolution system. Yeah, begin the migration. Resolution. So, cops and robbers. Bang, bang, I shoot, you're dead. No, I'm not. You didn't hit me. Yes, I did. No, I got away, I'm running. No, you didn't run, I shot you, you can't go. Playing like that. Many people have played like that as kids. What the rules and a resolution system does is prevent that from happening. It don't happen no more. Because of dice. It dice. I love dice. The hell is all this? All right. Is this it? Whatever. All right. Oh God, do a new window capture. Hey, you're there. Look at that. Eh. Oh, I have it on full screen on an ultra wide monitor. There we go. I'm still here. This is Foundry. Welcome to Foundry. This is so Foundry is a program where there are different rule sets, resolution systems that you can. A lot of them are crowdsourced, people make them, but a lot of them you can buy, like D&D. You can just there's a basic D&D that's free that you can get on this, and you can buy one as well. But it has these things in the background, right? These are scenes. These are literally the gridded maps for stuff. I have some things on there. And then there are tokens. Tokens are for players. character sheet where they've got for D&D. I didn't fill any of this in because I was using this just as a tabletop, literally on a TV that was flat on my table, so I didn't have to draw this huge creepy map. Anyways, you got your skills and stuff, and then you could be like, oh, make a perception check, rolling the thing, what did I get? Rolled a 14, blah, 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 blah. Equipment, features you get for your species and your class and everything, spells and stuff, blah, blah, biography. Anyways, that's characters. It's a nice method. Again, I didn't really fill any of this out. There's probably better examples if I look through some of the stuff that I have. Actors. It's Bugbear. It's an enemy. So I bought Phandelver and Below, physically and for Foundry. And I've never run it. I think I may have run part of the first session as a test once. So I've been running these for a long time. But anyway, see all this stuff? It's all set up and everything. You know what the Bugbear's got. Blah, 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 blah. That's all great. So if you want an encounter, you could throw a bunch of the tokens for these guys down in whatever area. And they do this thing now where I can't drag guys through walls. Anyways, and you put them on the map. Walls, you say? Well, yes. See all the black and white stuff? That's normally black. There's line of sight. Open a door. Do. It's all black and white because they have dark vision in D&D. I can see in the dark. Oh, I can see that guy, and I couldn't see that guy when I was over here. But that's all built into the system because you got walls. It's kind of like making video games. And I set the walls up for this super weird because I wanted them to see the art, but not be able to see through it completely. But normally you would just take this and just make the outline of the walls. Or if you import a map, because I grabbed this from a book I have, you make the walls. And you could do doors and you could do other interactive elements. And there's a scripting system in this. You can do whatever you want. It's nice. But then another thing I do is I have these journal entries. So this was a modified version of an adventure from Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting, which is a 2014 D&D 5th edition source book that's third party. There's a Kickstarter, got it, cool. Crafting rules, making magic items, gathering from monsters, cool stuff. Anyways, this is an adventure from it. So I just copied a lot of this and put it in here because I'm not selling this. This is for my own use. But herein lies the problem. If I'm running at a table, I might not even have this map. Maybe I have, what I have is a wet erase mat that's pretty big. It's like 30 by 20 or something. Wet erase has a grid, so I can draw stuff in the moment. What I've taken to is I have these big acrylic sheets I bought over Christmas. I'll put them down on top of that and draw maps, so I could pre-do maps in the background. But that's neither here nor there. This map, setting up the walls and then going through and setting up the journal stuff, that takes time. Making your own maps, I have a program called Dungeon Draft. It's very nice. Lets you make your own maps. There's a bunch of things. Incarnate, I used to have a subscription to. It's an online one. You can make your own maps. And then you put them in here and you set them to the grid and you do your walls, or you can export them with walls because like some of them have Foundry export. But what I'm talking about is prep. What is prep? It's preparing a session. And what does that mean? It means designing a session. There's overlap between TTRPG as a hobby and game development because game masters design stuff. They design systems, stories, narrative, characters, enemies, maps. Prep is design work. The only difference is the medium. Because, and here's the thing that I'm recently coming back to as my brain heals over time from all the crazy that's been going on in the past. I didn't used to do that. Big secret. I used to, sometimes I'd prep important things, but just like I'd type yes on a typewriter. Even though there was computers at the time, leave me alone. I just got a got a computer, so I was able to take the typewriter into my room because we didn't use it anymore. Type stuff. But generally, my prep was thinking about the world and the characters. And I lost that. I lost that partly during the public health emergency and lockdown here because of, having to run Foundry instead of being at a table. Lost. Now, if you have you can buy adventures, and that's cool. I like it. A lot of adventures are really good. I also like stealing stuff from good adventures and just using them outside of it. But if you're running an adventure and you read the D&D rules, they're like, hey, here's some guidelines for prep, depending on how much time you have before a session for what to do in your adventure. If you got 1 hour, you do these, 3 encounters you probably have. Make sure you're familiar. Make sure you got the maps ready. Make sure you kind of know the plot. Okay, go. That's fine. The more time you have, the more steps you add, the more prep you can do, the smoother it goes. So, my problem is it's my designer brain, it's my ADH brain, it's my wanting my friends to have fun brain, is when I prep, in addition to kind of stressing myself out if I prep something that even though I wrote it down by hand, which now I write it all down by hand, that I don't remember, because writing down by hand is supposed to help you remember. Sometimes I still forget that stuff. Or I'd write something down and I'm so excited to get to the cool thing that I steamroll my own ideas to get there. And to be like, oh crap, I forgot to do these other things because I wanted to get to the cool thing. So the other day, as hobby, I still run this stuff. I was prepping, I was making maps, and I'm like, oh, how's this going to go? And this is the 16th session? The 16th between 3 and 5 hour session? 3 and 4 hour or whatever for this game. And so far in this game, I've not had one good session. The players like it, but I haven't gotten that thrill as the person running it. I've come close. There's a thrill of, oh man, that was awesome. That was awesome. That even just a few years ago, I would get that. Sometimes through Foundry, I'd get that too. No, I'm calcified. I'm looking through a hard shell onto my own favorite hobby. And I'm prepping, and it comes out okay, and people generally have fun. And I would think, okay, well, good session is the thing that hits the most of the stuff that I prepped. So I was constantly looking for things to make prep easier, like Return to the Lazy Dungeon Master, stuff that's just a bunch of charts, which is fun anyways, but charts for prep, just to get the content made. It's really content design. But I wasn't having fun. And so part of my mind's like, well, it must be D&D's fault. That's partly true. D&D is a game of webs. Look at these character sheets. Just this isn't even this is just a lot of information that grows and grows and grows over time. Do they have NPCs? Here's a guy I made. He's only level 1, but he's got a bunch of stuff, and these things are all correspond to other things. And the players have to know their characters. Players, if you want to be a good player, know how your character works, please. Remember the stuff that's on it. I know excellent DMs can remember all that for all their players. That's not me. Don't think it ever was. Maybe it was when there was less stuff. That's why I'm so attracted to Nimble, but we'll get to that too. So, I was sitting there prepping, and on a whim, I'm like, hey, I like the Nightmare Lands for 2nd edition D&D Ravenloft. It's been decades since I've used it. I want to use the Nightmare Lands. So I just came up with a thing that's like, hey, yeah, after this many days, tremors, cracks appear in the ground, and these 5-foot round bubbles come out, multicolored. if players get close to them, I'll be like, "Oh, you can see a scene. It looks like somebody's at home," and it shifts to like people standing around a table. There's a cake, and then the cake is somebody's face, and they're screaming, and then they're falling, and you see a waterfall. Now they're petting a dog. It's dreams, nightmare lands. If they touch one, they're gonna into the nightmare land, which is its own mini setting for second edition D&D. I have the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft 5th edition book, which is good. It's not bad. It's not good. I mean, it's not bad. It is good. Yes, that. But it's not like the old books. So I started going back through that. I grabbed the box set, which I'm thankful I have. I started reading through it, and I'm like, I'm not going to use this as written. I'm going to use this asylum. The whole plot right now of the story, and I say plot loosely because who cares, is about the god of betrayal that's been defeated by the other gods, slammed underground thousands of years ago, destroying all the civilizations in this land. And then they made an artifact that keeps him asleep, trapped in the land of dreams and nightmares. And he's starting to stir because in the skeleton war, a civil war from a kingdom of undead, of people that got killed whenever the gods defeated the other god and slammed them to the ground, the gods brought them back to life to make sure that other god doesn't wake up, because that's the god of betrayal. They need to keep him asleep. And then in their civil war, the Splinter group grabbed that artifact and they don't know how to use it and they ran. And so now he's waking up and things are happening. So these tremors happen because he's still like trapped in the nightmare land, but his body is stirring. And nightmare stuff comes through. They touch it, nightmare land. They're on the beach. They can see the asylum and the city of Nod in the distance. Asylum's going to be the only building that has the lights on. They can either touch a few of the bubbles or go to the asylum. That's not even plot A. Plot A is turtle guy from Kung Fu Panda wants to take them and teach them how to fight kaiju, which is from Ryuko's Guide to the Yokai Realms, which is the like next Loot Tavern book after Hellenia's Guide to Monster Hunting. Learn how to fight kaiju in case this god actually wakes up and starts rampaging across the countryside. There's rules for fighting giant monsters in that book, and I assume it's pretty cool. But I won't know until I run it. But they got to go there and learn how to do it. And then we can end the campaign after they defeat the god and or grab the artifact and figure out how to use it, put him back to sleep. And then we can play Nimble. Then we can play Nimble. What is Nimble? Nimble is not this. This is something else I'll talk about. Nimble is a variation on the 5th edition rules. Extremely pared down and simplified to make combat more fun and feel faster. Not be faster, but feel faster. They have their own character classes, and you can import anything from any other D&D compatible book to Nimble pretty quickly. You just can't go the other way. It seems very neat. It's still a game of webs, but with way less strands than modern D&D. So don't get me wrong, I like D&D. I've liked D&D since 2nd edition. That's when I first started playing. Oh my god, I'm dating myself so bad. Now you know why the pixel guy is gray. But I want to disentangle things. Characters in my campaign are currently 5th level in Dungeons & Dragons, and they are nigh unstoppable. Sometimes they're glass cannony, but even if I manage to take one of them down, before anything else happens, another character is almost always able to heal them and get them back up on their feet. Not that I'm trying to kill them, but there's a tension in the conflict. And if no one can die because they're all superheroes at 5th level, then a few things could happen. They don't care about combat anymore. Bad. Boring combat, bad. Or I make things so difficult that what happens in combat is the players who have min-maxed, who really made their combat characters really well, will have fun and everyone else will die. Or one of the combat characters die because I had to make things so tough, and then no one else stands a chance, so they all die. Nimble fixes that in the few ways because they have their own character classes that are not as crazy as all the other ones. Where are my scenes? Here we go. The arena of testing. Just go there. Just activate it. I set this up with the quote unquote AI powered Dungeon Alchemist Steam map maker, which I try every once in a while to see if it makes maps I like, and it doesn't. Some people use it really well. I don't. See this angle when you get away from the center, even whenever it's smushed down to be 2D? I don't like it. And it's not automated enough. I'm going to be able to say, make building this size. I can make rooms that size and then put random crap in it. Never seems to be right. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Do I have any actors in this scene? I do. Where is he? There he is. You're not the right guy. We need McTesterson. Not even sure I made him with a new thing that fixed some problems that they had. Anyways, this is a character sheet. A little bit simpler than the multi-pronged D&D character sheet that we just saw before. Still has categories. There's an inventory. You get your features, your spells. There's way less, and a bio. But it's so much simpler. It simplifies a bunch of stuff. You don't roll to hit. You just roll damage. Critical hits is the leftmost die when you roll damage is its maximum value. And you get to roll that again. Every time you roll this maximum value, you keep rolling. But if it's a 1, it's a critical miss. Everything else hits. Simplified. Quicker. Less webs. And there's a ton of other games I want to play. I just got Mythic Bastion Land. Can't play that on Foundry. But anyways, here's what I'm trying to say. And failing to, but now I will. I'm sitting down there prepping. And I'm like, I want to use this book. I want to use the Nightmare Lands. While I was doing it, I'm like, why don't I just do stuff on the fly? The hell's all this prep for? I feel bad when I don't get to the prep. Why don't I just think about the stuff? And for a while, I was not in the right frame of mind to think about the setting I was making and enjoying with my friends during sessions, outside of a session. There was no joy to it. But now, I'm feeling a little better. And there is joy. So what I'm going to do this session is try to wing it a little bit more. Just a little bit. I'm going to reduce the amount of prep that I do. Increase the amount of time that I'm thinking about the session. And then I'm going to run it. I'm not going to make encounters beforehand. Balance in D&D is a joke anyways once you get above 5th level. CR, everybody knows combat ratings, challenge ratings in D&D are meaningless after a certain very early point. Some people refuse to play games above a certain level because the math of the game falls apart. Known problem. Will Nimble fix it? I don't know. We'll find out. But before I thought the problem was with D&D. I don't think so. I really don't. The problem with my prep and my enjoyment of the session is not Dungeons and Dragons. It's a source of joy. Even when there's things I hate. My example earlier of jumping over a pit and rolling a die, that's not the 2024 rules. They just say you can jump your strength rating in feet. Strength 7, jump 7 feet. Strength 12, jump 12 feet. That means a 10-foot gap people have to jump over. Some people just can't. So we immediately house rule that stuff to add back in the check that can add to your athletics check to get over that. Should I be upset at D&D for that? No. We just improvise a solution. I can improvise obstacles. I can improvise plot. The whole thing, what I'm trying to say, is that doing too much prep takes you out of the game in the moment and makes you follow the words you've written down or in a pre-made adventure that someone else written down before. And sometimes that's okay. But for me, that's not okay anymore. I have to have fun doing this stuff. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Check this out. You want the middle road between old school and new school? Dungeon Crawl Classics. Been a while since I loaded this up. There's stuff that they never even saw. Look at this. Talk about prep. This is what I grabbed from, I think this is Worlds Without Number. Which is a great book and a great tool set for making worlds and dungeons. Either in prep or on the fly. If people are like, I want to explore a dungeon. I don't feel like just making bull crap up while they go through it. All right, everyone, give me 10 minutes. Roll on some tables, do some stuff. Don't text me right now. Text, phone. I ran some adventures for them. In this, they're running stuff now. Just grab stuff from the books and say, hey, walls. Walls. Wall. Oh, yeah. Man, I forgot about terrain walls. What the heck was I doing that? See? Brain rot. Didn't need to set up windows and other things weirdly in that last map I showed you for D&D. I just need to do this. I was trying to find an example of maps that I've just made. That don't suck. Dungeon room. That's all you need. Made this in Dungeon Draft with a set that was very bare bones. That's all you need. Foundry doesn't need to be a display of lights and interactivity. In fact, I find the more that we try to automate stuff in Foundry, the worse time we have, because then we have to be like experts in Foundry to get the automation to work right. Let's figure out the dice and use it to roll dice. What kind of dice? Where's my 3D dice? It's like a big buildup for a wet fart. Oh, I don't even have 3D dice installed here. I should have shut all this stuff off. Oh no. I do like having backgrounds. They steal from other books. Be like, yo, hey, it's what you see. And I know they're building a system for Foundry you can plug in and make these. That's all cool. Ah, memories. Laughing, happy memories. So what am I saying? I'm saying tabletop role-playing game session stuff is game design. Tabletop role-playing games are a gateway drug to the world of professional game design. There's validity in the designs between the two, even though it's its own, industry and medium. That leads into so much. If you really do a lot of D&D stuff, even if you're improvising, you'll find this stuff way more engaging. Those maps I was making. Oh hey, almost kind of looks like what I was doing in Foundry. Huh. How about that? Enemy behavior? The nice thing about tabletop role-playing games is I want an enemy that can jump like a frog and then slam down on people and explode. In video games, you do a lot of work to do that. In tabletop role-playing games, the thing I just said is what is it? He jumps at you like a frog and slams down and explodes. Roll a dexterity saving throw. You fail, you take 4d6 damage. Let me roll. 15 points of damage. Have a nice day. They're related. Tabletop role-playing games and video games are related. They always will be. They're two roads on the same county? And also, if you're running tabletop role-playing games and you feel super stressed or your sessions aren't going well or anything else, set aside a few hours during the whatever time between sessions and just think. Daydream in your setting. Daydream in your campaign. Daydream in the adventure. daydream about the characters. Come with some cool ideas. Your prep can just be jotting down a few cool ideas. And then do it. I'll let you know. We're running it tomorrow. I'll let you know how my session goes. Because I really set them up, the whole side about the plot and the god and everything else. So the guy that's going to take them to the place to learn how to fight kaiju, he said, I'm leaving in 7 days. So I said, hey, what do you guys do for 7 days? They got kind of ticked off at me because they felt it was being railroady. But they don't have to go with the guy if they don't want to. But on day 2 and 4, oh boy, stuff happens. Day 2, crazy clouds appear. Glowing multicolored rain falls out of the sky, coating everything. Fades away. Next day, earthquakes, dream bubbles. They don't know what those are. One person touches them, gone. Not going to tell everybody else where they are. Not going to tell that person a thing until everybody else figures out what they're going to do. They abandon that character? Okay, maybe I'll run a split scene thing and try to get the character back or whatever. But what are they going to do? He's gone. Oh, he's gone forever. Goodbye. They run away? I mean, if they want to do that, their alignment's what? Chaotic jerk if they do that? Also, we're not using alignments. I like alignments, but my players didn't want to use them. Oh man, there's so much to talk about tabletop role-playing games. Let's talk about lawful good. Some people call it awful good. Talk about paladins. Here's what it is. Alignments, classically in D&D. Different games have different alignments. Many, many more games don't have alignments. You come with your idea for a character and you play them. There's no compass by which you're setting up independently of how you've made your character. But in D&D, alignment's been a thing for a long time. It has two axes, I guess. You have law and you have morality. I guess it's a morality thing. You got law, chaos, blah, 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 blah. I'm not describing this well. You got two axes. One of them is law, neutrality, and chaos. That is just how much effort does a character put into obeying laws. Lawful, they like obeying laws. Their laws, of wherever they grew up. Neutral, they don't try to break laws. They don't necessarily try to obey laws. But they're aware of laws and they'd probably do it. Chaos goes out of their way to break laws. Laws are bad. Play Cyberpunk, it's a bit of the Johnny Silverhand right there. Chaos. And then another axis is good, neutral, and evil. Good. How many unselfish things do? Do you try to help people without reward? Neutral. I can help people or not. I kind of go with the flow. Evil. I go out of my way to harm people. Lawful evil. I obey the laws in a way that I could selfishly profit. Chaotic good? Nah, man, I break laws to help people. I'm a Robin Hood. Paladins. Oh, paladins. Holy warriors. Make an oath. Devote to an oath. Used to be to gods, and they're like clerics, but with swords, because clerics couldn't use swords. I don't know. Neither here nor there. Paladins, lawful good, most of the time now. And people used to think, well, that makes sense. It's so boring. You just go around and you just obey the law. Try to be the good guy everywhere and help everyone all the time. Yeah, but they don't obey the laws of whatever land they're in. They obey the laws of their religion. That's Judge Dredd coming to Gotham City. Batman, chaotic good. Judge Dredd, lawful neutral, trending over time towards lawful good. Judge Dredd is more nuanced than most people think, ironically, just for being a satire of America. Oh, that's another rabbit hole. I can feel it pulling me in. I'm not going to talk about Judge Dredd, man. I'm going to talk about Judge Dredd right now. Paladins, though. Paladins can be way fun. And people get scared. Stir up trouble in a role-playing game. If I'm a paladin and I go into a place, it's not a good place, and I start doing paladin-y things. Yeah. What do you think makes them interesting? They're uncompromising in their oath and their values. Compromise and you might lose access to your paladin powers. Lawful good can be extremely fun to play. We're not even in the realm of where I started this video. Wow, I did a great job blathering. I'm not going to do red line blathering. I'm doing green line blathering. Ultra blather. Pachow! Oh my god, I've been doing this an hour and a half. I haven't even done a tutorial today. I feel like I'm so behind. I'm not doing this for anyone but me. This project. I want to learn and have something that I'm doing stuff with. How do I feel behind in myself? I already hate that thing that doesn't work with the emissive. Regardless, if you've watched this at all, thank you. Agree with me or disagree? I hope you got something out of it. I hope you had some fun. See you next time.